just before Thor came out of G45. My impression of how their handles look has always been like this. Or something like this. Anyway, it's just decent. Even the packaging box looks exactly the same. So I changed my name. But Thor recently sent me them again. The latest product G50S multiplied by 2 is so bold, as expected of Thor. And don't just look at this light purple appearance. Thor is really getting smaller and fresher. But what I didn't expect was that none of the two handles look like this. It's really naughty to like small surprises on the hour. So what is purple food like? Can I get a chance to see it? Or knock on the microphone to tell me, is this a purple filter? However, there is one thing to say. Thor is also getting more and more voluminous in terms of cost performance. Holben machine plus Hall joystick plus 3MO shoes, plus adapt to multi-platform, add gyroscope and NS to wake up. The price of other functions actually came to the first 169 yuan. So what will the specific experience be like? In addition to the handle body, there is also a data cable and receiver in the box. There is nothing else to say. The handle in my hand is extremely leafy and white wrinkled, not to mention whether it looks good or not. In terms of printing style, if you put them together with Thor's own brother, it can only be said that the power of blood is very powerful. Especially the bright purple arrow keys and home buttons in black. It added a little more commotion. The right stick ring and action keys on the front are okay. The lit RGB is much more convergent than before. However, I personally feel that it is better to turn off the action key RGB, right? Fortunately, Thor also added lighting, electricity, and vibration mediation keys to the G50S. How to improve the level of competition depends on the player's choice. The gear switch and 4 back keys can be seen on the back. The back key adopts a 2x2 connected design. The index finger rests exactly on the depression. It is really comfortable to press. However, there are countless risks in this position. In addition to the sharp key trigger, there are 2 expansion buttons on the top. In addition, people have to mention this C-mouth, because its chrysanthemums are really too tight. The benefits are not without benefits. At least they can ensure the stability of the wired connection. So for the appearance of the Thor G50S, Jill and Baiji don't know if they usually prefer to fight one. In terms of feel, both handles use plastic anti-slip patterns, and the sharp line also did not fall. Add anti-slip patterns to the sharp line trigger. Can still improve the feel. The action part is a conductive rubber case. According to Raytheon's research and development, it is a long-lived life of 5 million times. Whether the conductive adhesive has such a long life is left to time to verify. The cross also uses Alpine National Carrier film. The shoulder buttons and the 2 expansion buttons on the top are RBS clear switches. The back key adopts the scheme of mechanical switches. I feel like it's quite fancy. The trigger key adopts the Holson type. The trigger key travel is moderate, just right. Coupled with the treatment of thunder carving and sun-dried patterns, the press feel is still very comfortable. The overall weight is 208.5 grams, and it feels a little guaranteed. However, it is not ruled out that there will be players who prefer lightweight handles. Next, let's take a look at Thor's handle in terms of algorithm and tuning. Third-party tuning has been used before. The software clinker is unusable when it reaches the G50S. Therefore, without your own adaptation software, there is no way to adjust the joystick flight and other problems at will. But it's not that there is no way, because this time there is a continuous red program. In addition to being adjustable through the key combination, it can also be turned on with one click through the key combination. To change the non-death mode, you can even change the range of all deaths with one click. This makes many people want to try it. First, in the initial state, the joystick with its own tiny center point dies. No cruciform dies. The dead zone of the outer ring is a standard prototype. Press the mod key to add the joystick. After pressing down, you can see that the outer ring magically adds a part of the dead zone. The reason for this design is in some games, the running of the characters must enter the dead zone before they can start. In this case, it is very convenient to be able to adjust it with one click. But this one-click center point is dead. It doesn't look like that. It doesn't have much impact in FPS games. It is indeed a sign of no death. In terms of cross bonds, it performed perfectly in the string test of pi construction. The linear trigger is also very silky, which is still very good. Finally, let's disassemble the machine to see the workmanship inside. First of all, the battery is not protected by a special battery compartment. Instead, it was glued to the instant noodles with double-sided tape. The battery capacity is a decent 600 mAh. It's better to play games with the lights off. The motor and battery wiring use a socket scheme. The joystick pins are also made into welding machines. The trigger uses a Hall magnetic rod. The hard trigger stick is the Hall joystick under the empty silver. I'm still a little addicted to stacking. However, according to the past situation, anyone who likes to stack a handle must have a trade-off. And the house can generally only be done internally. For example, this 1.2mm motherboard and the glued battery. So in terms of the internal workmanship of the handle, Thor still has some room for improvement. I believe that seeing this, the students also have a general understanding of this handle. Although the Thor G50S is not completely unrivaled in terms of cost performance, but it also showed enough sincerity. At the price of 169 yuan, double Hall configuration with Hall banner plus Hall joystick, gyroscope and NS one-button wake-up functions, it also takes into account the needs of NS players. It is also very convenient to adjust the way you die through key combinations. But without adaptation software, the experience is still slightly inferior. If you can improve this and increase the density of workmanship, Thor G50S will be very good at fighting.
No.